And there we are. Alright. Hello everyone, and I'm doing another vlog. Yeah, I know I've been doing, once again, I've been doing a lot of these lately. Also, I shaved and took a shower, so it's probably notable. You know, I don't really know how much you guys care. Anyways, so yeah, Sapir wanted me to do a thing on what type of games we're going to be playing, and admittedly, I feel like we've already covered that. But I was like, alright, I'll play along. So we're doing certain types of games. Mainly, like, we'll be doing pony games, and probably a lot of shorter games, like indie games and stuff. Maybe some older games mixed in there. We will, of course, keep going with the occasional, what some may call AAA games, though personally, whenever I hear that, I think of the battery, like AAA. I don't know. I'm sure someone could explain to me where the phrase came from, or heck, I could probably look up where it came from myself if I wanted. But yeah. So I have AAA gaming, and, but we're just, like, thinking it'd be a little easier to do, smaller stuff, especially because of a lot of the legal issues. Admittedly, for the most part, Let's Players don't really have a ton, but, you know, it is easy enough to occasionally step on that wrong foot, like I know Sega has, actually taken down a lot of stuff, like, gotten a lot of people in trouble, because they rebooted this one game and killed some channels. And Nintendo actually did something recently that I think I heard already killed a few channels. Maybe? I'm not sure. And I'm like, yeah, so it's, with the bigger companies, it's easy enough. You know, with the indie game companies, I don't think the creator of Super Meat Boy is gonna get super pissed and be like, oh man, all these people are stealing my money, it belongs to me, you know, and go out and steal everyone's monetizations of his videos and everything, and then shut down channels, and, you know, no, I'm not saying that's what everyone's doing, but it does, you know, it does sometimes feel like that. But I know, legitimately, like this thing with the Nintendo, I'm really hoping it's a misunderstanding. I really considered messaging them myself, like sending in an email, and being like, hey Nintendo, I've been a Nintendo fan forever, and what the fuck are you doing? You guys don't need money. You don't need money. You need fans. And you got money, and you got fans, so don't fuck up with the fans bit, because, you know, and that might sound weird, you know, you need fans, but I think that's part of the thing of being a big game company, like a big, a system developer, is having fans, because, like, there's a reason I always buy a Nintendo console. I already have a Wii U, I don't know why I'm pointing, it's downstairs, but I already have a Wii U, and I'm glad I bought it. I have Mario, and I have Monster Hunter, and I have Nintendo Land, and sure, that's it, but I'm already happy with it. Then I'm gonna get Rayman pretty soon, and then down the line there's the new Pikmin, and I'm just like, I'm hyped. So, anyways, so yeah, pony games, obviously gonna be the main thing, probably, and then we'll be doing a lot of short games, which is already kind of what we're doing. So I was like, whatever, I'll mention it. And then I just got into thinking about a whole bunch of random stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I feel legitimately reason enough to do a vlog right now. Whatever. My wording there was kind of weird, but I'm kind of getting to ramble mode, so, you know. Yeah, so this vlog is going to get into some strange territory. I don't know if I'm going to go everywhere I planned, but, there's just some events recently, and I think I mentioned it before. I currently am saying I'm bisexual, to which I haven't had that much of, like, it's one of those things, it's like, how do you prove without certain activities. And I can't just have, well, I technically can, but I'm not hiring whores. No. That's not what this video is about. But I'm like, no. I'm not, I don't even know where to begin on why that's wrong to me. It's just wrong to me. And I don't spend money like that. I think that's like probably ironically the top of my list of why that's wrong to me. Sure, it's wrong to me in a lot of ways, but overall, that's a waste of money. Screw that. I'm not wasting my money on no. I'm like, I have better things to spend my money on, mainly video games, because I love video games. I love video games a lot more than people that I don't know. So, yeah, anyways. So, actually, though, I've been thinking on it, and I'm like, it's just, so many things have been happening, and it's just so weird to think about. Actually, recently, I feel like I've been leaning more towards being gay, and hopefully this doesn't bother anyone, but, yeah, 'cause, well, okay, not my sexual self. If it bothers you, that's an issue you really need to get over, but I understand there's a lot of people I'm not, like my grandpa probably wouldn't understand. Anyways, not getting into family issues, I haven't talked to him yet, so I'm like, probably, gay, 'cause, I don't know, just recently I've been like, well, I don't want to be, I'm trying to figure out how to not be sexist here, but it sounds really sexist, because I'm really having trouble with women lately, and it's not women altogether, it's real women in my life, and, not women that I'd be interested in, but, like, all of the women who have gone through my life, who have, actually been actively in my life, have sucked. They've sucked. And I'm not talking about the ones in video games. There's some great people there. But, that's not... Unfortunately, that doesn't speak as strong in life experience in this particular way. Unlike most things for me. Because, okay, I'll start with it. So it's pretty much family members is the thing. So first off, it's all the family members I'm directly related to. Aunts and stuff aren't really included, and I don't know my cousins that well, but my sister, no. I know she was on the channel for a while. I really wish she hadn't have been. That was a terrible idea. The only reason she didn't delete all of my videos is because immediately after she started bitching out, I just changed the password. I was like, fuck that. Because she's done that before. Not with YouTube, luckily. Nothing that important. But, last time she was super pissed at me for no reason. She just, decided, oh hey, I'm gonna, anything I know the password for, I'm gonna start messing with. And I'm like, fuck you. And the only reason I was trying to get along with her, because my grandpa, like, at my, it's kind of a long story, but at my grandma's funeral, it was a big deal, so he was like, hey, I want you guys to get along. Life is fleeting. One day you might regret it. And I'm like, I think I regret talking to my sister again more, at least at the moment. It's official. I am done talking to her. Forever. Like, hopefully. But, that's a different subject. But, so I'm just like, no, I'm done with it. I'm done with my sister. She wants to stop talking to me and drive friends to backstab me. That's fine. And, you know, I obviously blame the friend, too, to backstab me, but I'm like, well, you know, obviously he had a reason to. Well, he had an incentive to. Still a real douchebag for doing it, but, yeah. So, that sucks. My mom, won't get too much into that, not trying to make it sound like my life's been terrible, just, the women in my life have been terrible. My mom, total fucking nutcase. I don't like my mom. I'm really glad that at this point I'm living with my grandpa, cause no, my mom, my mom did so many things to try to screw up my childhood, that, you know, and that kind of what got me addicted to games was the fact that I didn't really have, you know, like, those years I was living with mom, you know, it was like mom didn't know what to do with me. Have video games. It was like, okay. And, you know, I got addicted because everyone played video games in my house, and then, you know, I didn't have anything to do a lot of days, so I played video games. It's, yeah, I'm like, they actually apparently do a great job of raising kids. Though if you're a parent, please don't. Please don't try to raise your kid on video games. It works sometimes, and I won't even guarantee it always works. But, you know, if you can parent at all, don't raise your kids off of video games. But yeah, so that's kind of how that went. Luckily, it wasn't just video games. My grandparents helped out a lot. And they're really who raised me. Basically. And Dan put some work into there. My sister claims she didn't. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? You tried to mess up my childhood more. That's what you did. Fuck. And, yeah, I can't really say anything about my grandma. At first I was like, I technically could, and I'm like, not, you know, not really. She was, you know, she was old. That's, you know, but she never did anything particularly wrong, as far as I can tell. It's really hard to tell, because, you know, with you know, my sister and my mom, it was always pointing fingers. It was always, this person did this, and oh, this person did all of these things, and, you know, it was kind of the same with grandma too, unfortunately. But I don't know if she was legitimately pointing fingers, like if she was saying, hey, it's, you know, your mom, when she was a kid, she used to do all this crazy shit, because I'm like, I can see that. Or was she like, you know, being like, man, your mom used to be so crazy as a kid, and I'm like, you know, I have no way of knowing. But anyways. So, yeah. I'm just saying, that's my assumption for it. I'm like, that's, you know, after this thing with my sister, I'm like, you know, I'm sure there's girls who are fine, but I've never met a girl who's fine. And unfortunately, most of my other interaction with real girls have been high school, and, you know, obviously that's not great. Where's, you know, heck, that brings up the definition of real girls. Were any of those girls in high school real? I don't know. They were all probably Barbies. They're all probably living Barbies. But anyways, you know, I'm not saying all of them were. I actually knew, like, one or two who were cool. But the largest population might as well have been Barbies. You know, but that's high school. I mean, the largest population of guys might as well have been really racist Ken dolls. Except, you know, they're not even that handsome. But, you know, actually, I don't know if Ken dolls are that handsome, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be. You know, that's the point of the whole Barbie playset, right? You have Barbie, and she looks like a supermodel, and Ken, and he, of course, looks like a supermodel. And, yeah, they have fun in their supermodel cars, and their supermodel houses, and their supermodel, well, I don't know, condos. That's a thing, right? I don't know. I know condos are a thing. I don't think there's a Barbie condo playset. That sounds weird. Barbie supermodel condo. Anyways. So, yeah. So, that's probably the most dramatic I've gotten with my, vlogs. But, so that's my thoughts on that. I'm like, so, yeah, women haven't been going great, and guys have been generally going really great. Things with Tara are just going amazing. I can't really say a lot about it. For those who don't know, Tara is my, boyfriend. Fortunately, like, in general with my relationships, it's over the interwebs, because, I have, it's weird. I can vlog, and I can do I can do Let's Plays, and I can do Skype calls, kind of. Oh yeah, I can do Skype calls with people I'm good at, that I've, gotten used to. But there's just, like, this, when it gets to in-person, there's this degree of socialness that I just can't manage. I'm like, hey, so, how about that Disgaea? Oh man, do you know about the fire, the, blazing knuckle? Oh man, that attack is hype. I was just pulling one out. Blazing knuckle isn't, like, the best. I've recently been playing Disgaea 1 for the PSP, because, well, y'all know about my Disgaea hype. So, yeah. Not to say that I'm never going to have one in not to say that I'm never going to have one in person. Just, it's one of those things that it's like I have a lot of hurdles to get over. And I'm not like that with everyone in person. Well, kind of. People I know really well in person, I'm sometimes not shy around, but there's not very many people I'm really close to at this point in person. There's Grandpa, but I'm not close to him in any kind of, way above the fact that he's my grandpa, and, he helped raise me a lot, so I'm like, that's, obviously I feel close to him in that way, but, and, then there's my friend Omari, who I'm mentioning, because, he's my friend, and then that's about it. I don't really talk to anyone else these days. I'm like, yeah, everyone else, I could go over, and I might later, but at the moment I'm like, that's getting too, that's getting too, like, trying to be attention whorish, I feel. I'm not sure. But, anyways, I don't really care. It's, I have a lot of online friends, which that makes me sound really lonely when I say it like that. But, I do. And it's great. I mean, I have Sapere online. One of these days, we are going to meet in person, and he's going to do a vlog, and he's going to be sitting right here, except we're probably going to be in another house. It's going to be, I'm going to assumably not have a bed right here. And so we're going to have an easier time, but he's going to be sitting, like, here-ish. I'm going to be sitting more to the side. But yeah, anyways. Well, maybe not here. I don't know. He's going to be sitting somewhere, and it's going to be pretty hype, and we're going to do a vlog, and, I'm probably going to poke him to make sure he's real a few times. Like, you're real, right? I'm suspicious. I don't think you are. Obviously, that sound, anyways, no one were there at the moment yet, but yeah, so one day that'll happen. Hopefully, well, yeah, I'm pretty much planning it. I don't know if Super is. But it's one of those things that's a while away. Super's all the way up in Canada. I'm like, I'm not, I'm not taking a trip to Canada anytime soon. My friend, I'm sorry. I love Canada, kind of, but as nice as Canada is, that's kind of expensive, and that's a lot of stuff that I can't really do right now. Like get my visitors. I'm not sure how hard it is to get all of that in and out of the country visa, stuff. But anyways, getting off on a total tangent. Yeah. I guess I'll get back to, I was talking about, my possible, sexuality. And the other thing is that, I've actually dated a few people. Yeah, I'm not going to get into all of that either. I'm currently happy with where I am, date-wise, which is, well, I'm currently dating someone, so of course I'm happy with that. But I have to say that just that I heard a sound. I'm like, that sounded suspicious. I'm not sure if y'all heard that or not. You probably didn't. Anyways, I think with what I heard there, well, anyways, I'll keep going. So, yeah, everything with all of those, it's always been good, except for once, and that was everyone involved's fault. That was just one of those things. It was like, I don't even think it should have been started, but I can't blame the other person, and I hope they don't blame me. It's just, we both messed up. It was stupid, but all the rest have been really enjoyable in their own ways. But I've never found a girlfriend. That's just not been a thing. I'm like, yeah. And at the moment I'm like, that doesn't sound great. That sounds okay. That sounds, it's like that could be nice. I don't know. That's one of those things I'm like, if I ever have the opportunity, I'd probably try it. Well, I would try it. But right now I'm already in a happy place. And, it's another thing where I'm like, I unfortunately don't think I attract women. For a lot of reasons. I'm, I'd be told differently, by people in high school, but then people in high school don't know anything, and I don't want to date a Barbie doll. A barbed? I can't talk today. Anyways, so, I don't know, I just did there either. But anyways, so, yeah, it comes down to a case of, it all seems to add up kind of in one direction. I also wanted to make a joke about, an adult game to which my sister has less character complexity than my first Corruption of Champions character. And then it occurred to me, I was like, that character probably didn't have any complexity, but that character wasn't the standard character for that game, which gave her complexity, I guess. Because the first time I played that game, I took the fact that it was trying to be... This is one of the few times, like, I did something that I'm like, this sounds like something Super would do, but whatever. I took the fact that it was trying to be an adult game and a game as a challenge. I was like, oh, you're a game, really? And I was like, alright, well, let's see if I can play it like a game. Let's pretend there's not any, that kind of content. If I ever lost, I loaded my game, and, I got through the entire game without losing at all. My characters, everything was still intact. I wasn't morphed in any weird ways. Well, probably. I won't guarantee that. I don't think I was. 'Cause I did use a few things. Like, I used all kinds of potions to beef up my strength and toughness and my intelligence. And then, I forget where I got the speed from. I remember I had all four stats maxed. All four of the, battle stats maxed. And I was, of course, using the beautiful sword, which is, well, like, my favorite weapon in the game. That sword is badass, and it's badass for an obvious reason, which is just that for the longest time, it's pretty much what you can get. But it's still badass. You just go to the lake a few times, and there's a freaking sword. And as long as your corruption's, low or at, I had mine at 0, you kill everything. And yeah, it's a pretty legitimate strategy. And, I did well. I did a lot of grinding, of course, But, yeah, and I'm like, wow, it can be a legitimate game. And, then I went back and started playing it the right way, because I'm like, okay, it's fun like this, but, I have to admit, as fun as it is like this, it's the kind of game that, as a game, you probably wouldn't play it all the time if it didn't have the other content. Let's see. Yeah, it's one of those games as a game. But it's actually okay. The meta, because the whole potion thing is kind of weird. But yeah, it's fun. At least it was fun enough for me to level up to level 18 and beat as far as I could. And when I say as far as I could, I mean I beat everything that you could beat. Well, at least like playing normally. And then there's been more content added since then, but nothing end game, I don't think. Well, it's weird that I say that, because once again, I think there's been some stuff end game added, but I don't think you can literally beat the game. I got to the Z, whatever, his name starts with the Z, but I forget what his name is, and, I got to his lair, and I beat the crap out of the imps, and I beat the crap out of him. I don't know why I'm showing fists, because it was more stab or slash. Anyways, so beat the crap out of everything, and then he gave me the map to the, whoever's lair, and then I realized, I'm like, yeah, I can't get any further than this, can I? 'Cause, yeah. And then I went back, and then that's another thing I wanted to mention. Excuse me. I don't know why I do that sometimes. Anyways, yeah, and this is probably not, once again, a weird subject, so I should probably put a mature rating thing on this video, maybe? Nah, probably not. We don't really go over anything mature. Besides the game, which I'm not telling anything particularly mature about it, anyways, so, the games. Oh, this one. So yeah, beat it in like that, and then I decided, okay, well, I'm like level 18, I got everything done. And then I just started messing around. I started basically messing up my character. I was like, okay, let's see how fun this game can actually be if you play it the way you're supposed to be. And I was like, okay, I see the point of this now. I see why people really like this game. Because it's really nice. And, if you haven't heard of it and you're into that kind of thing, I'd recommend checking it out. I'm not going to put in the link because it's adult, but just go look it up. It's fairly easy to find. Corruption of Champions, as it were. And, yeah. It has my thumbs up. I won't tell you where. No. But, yes. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I started messing around with that, and then I got bored, and basically ever since I got bored with that, I've just been making new characters and finding plausible ways to mess up. Like, yeah. And that's just basically what I do with the game. I make a new character, I sit there and play with it for a while, and then I find a plausible way to mess up. Because it got boring, because I have my character up to level 20-something, I think. And I'm like, yeah, my character is really strong and really ridiculously awesome, and losing at this point's not plausible, you know. There'd be no reason for it. I've been the warrior of justice for up until now, you know, and just stabbing everything. And sure, I'm bored because it's endgame, but my character doesn't know it's endgame and that there's literally nothing to do until, well, not literally, but, you know, if you're playing it as a warrior of justice, there's literally nothing to do until the game is properly finished, or at least updated up to the point where you can kill the big bad. And I don't think, I won't swear on this, but I personally don't know of any way to get to the big bad. So, yeah, you can just get to the, you know, the step, like, the step down from the big bad, basically. The darker better. As I would put it, since I've been watching some Rental Floss recently. I believe that's how you say his name. And, yeah, it's pretty legit. Another one I'd recommend. A lot of his with lyrics videos are amazing. I love the Mega Man with lyrics, the Mega Man, and the Civilization, and everything. Yeah. I have to admit, there's some of the ones I'm like, I like this, but it's not, like, great. Like, it's funny, I even like some of the weird ones, like the Me channel. I'm like, that's hilarious. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, I'm like, that's gross. I kind of like it. It is funny, but man, it's gross. I'm like, no, why? Don't make me legitimately think about the fact that the turtles live in a sewer. That's no. I want to think about the sewer. It's terrible. It's a terrible thought to think about. I'm like, no, I'm OCD. You know, I'm not, well, I think I've mentioned it before. I'm not ridiculously OCD, but I'm OCD enough that, like, I don't want to, I don't know. Anyways. Getting off of that. So, yeah. Oh yeah, which is, the one I mentioned is from the Final Fantasy theme, not the Final Fantasy theme, it's Final Fantasy Classic theme, I believe it is. Not the Final Fantasy Victory theme, which is also awesome. Yes. Oh man, I used to love that. The little victory dance everyone would do with the putting your fist, yes, in the air. It was hype. And still is hype. People still cannot make a victory. I have not heard a victory theme as good as that one in a while. That was just amazing. Okay, anyways. I think I've said everything I have a legitimate point for. So, this, and I suppose this is a usual thing. But this vlog was basically about me, you know. Oh, the one thing I would like to mention, and I don't really expect anyone to comment back if you don't want to, but if anyone's still watching, do people like timestamps on this? Do you personally like timestamps on your, thing? Like date stamps, not specifically time, but like, right now, I could tell you what date it is, and I could put it on the video. I could be like, it's this date, but I'm like, do you guys really need it? Do you need to know when I made this? Wait, doesn't YouTube even tell you? I I I don't know. I think that's why I stopped, because I'm like, I think YouTube actually tells you when I uploaded this. At least in general. Maybe not exactly. So yeah. But if anyone's like, well, no, it doesn't exactly, and I would really like the timestamp, I'll put timestamps on. But otherwise, I'm probably just going to name this um Green Beans Vlog 5, or is it 5 or 4 or whatever? A quest for, I don't know. I'll have an exact thing for it. A quest for the true meaning of love, even though that wasn't really, a major thing. I'm also told I should focus on the camera more. I'll try to do that a little bit, but I'm never great at that. I'm like, I see you, I see it there. But, I tend to move around when I talk a little bit, I focus, when I'm thinking, I tend to look off, in another direction, or when I'm saying something that I'm not sure about, I look off a lot, or just when I'm talking in general, I seem to glance around. I hear that you should, look at people's, you should look into their eyes when they talk. I don't know. You should listen when they talk, I know that, which I'm not bad at. Well, yeah, I'm not bad at. I'm not gonna say I'm the best at. I get distracted easily enough. But I generally talk to yeah. Oh yes. The other thing I want to mention, which is the amusing bit of why I'm still not announcing full on that I'm just going for guys, is because women still have interesting parts. Grope. No. Well, maybe. Now I am being sexist. That's sure as hell true. But, if guys bring the personality, girls have got to bring something, right? At least they're something nice to look at. I'm being terrible. I'm sure there's some great girl personalities out there. Hell, I like, over the internet, I can see that. I see lots of great female role models for girls and for guys to really look up to. Maybe not, don't expect that quite, but, it's like, okay, yeah, there's Lauren Faust, seems to be a great person. There's Elijah Ball, who, there's obviously the big one, who, for whatever reason I can't think of at the moment, who voice acts on as Twilight Sparkle. I don't know why I can't think of her name at the moment, but she's super famous, and she's one of those people that I'm like, she seems cool. She seems really cool. She's not afraid to make a joke. She's just generally, she does a lot of things. At this point, I'm not even sure why. I'm like, that's badass as hell. I can look it up, and I'm like, look at all these things you've done, and then I'm like, don't you get paid properly for these? You're super famous. You could probably retire now, couldn't you? I don't know how voice actor salaries work. But I mean, that's fine. I'm not saying that Tara Strong, there it is. I'm not saying that Tara Strong should retire, because I love Tara Strong. Not, love, but I'm like, whenever I hear Tara Strong's voice, I'm like, yes, this is at least going to be a thing that I can listen to. One more tangent, that reminds me, well, no, I won't go on a full tangent, but, yeah, I do that with most voice actors. Like, if it's a voice actor, I like their voice, and I can recognize it on things, I'll usually do that. Like, even if sometimes I don't love it. Like loved the voice acting for everything. Like, there's the English dub on Higurashi, and I'm not really watching that because for the most part the English dub sucks. But the main character is Axel on Disgaea. And I'm like, that's so badass. I could just sit there and I'm like imagining this guy being Axel. I'm like, that's so badass. He's obviously not Axel. There's points where it makes it obvious, but that's like literally the voice he uses. I'm like, dude, that's Axel. So I watched the first chapter, and then I was like, all right, I'm good to go. But yeah, anyways, so I've ranted on long enough. This thing is yeah. This thing is getting pretty long. So, yeah, I'm not gonna recap anything. I can't really, I can't remember anything else. So, thank you all for watching, and see y'all next time.